everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing very well today. So today's video, I kind of want it to be just a chill video. I really just want to kind of chat with you guys about some of maybe like my makeup goals for 2022. Just maybe just kind of chat. I don't know. I feel like I haven't done that in a while. And I really have taken some notes just in my phone about just some things that I'm wanting to focus on this year in 2022 when it comes to my makeup collection. And so I just want to go ahead and share those thoughts with you, share those goals with you, etc. So firstly, I really want to get to know my bronzer collection better. This is so silly, it sounds like, but I feel like I'm not as much of a bronzer person as I am a blush person, and so I feel like sometimes my bronzers can get a little bit neglected within my collection. Sometimes I feel like I always have, my favorite blushes and, eyeshadow palettes and things like that, but whenever it comes to bronzers, I feel like I'm not always as sure about my feelings towards my bronzers, if that makes sense. And so I really want to try my best to not purchase any new bronzers. That's not a rule that I'm setting on myself or anything like that. I just really want to focus in on the bronzers that I currently have within my collection and really try to gather my thoughts and opinions on those before I go in and purchase any new ones. So I really want to get to know my bronzer collection a little bit more this year. Another goal that I have is I really want to use my face palettes more. I feel like my face palettes definitely get neglected within my collection. I feel like I'm definitely not the only one that suffers with that. I feel like face palettes, they're kind of a blessing and a curse. They're a blessing because you can do so many different things with your face palettes, but then I feel like they're a curse because you sometimes want to reach for your single blushes more, your single bronzers and highlights more. And so I feel like sometimes my face palette collection can definitely go neglected, go unloved, etc. I have a lot of favorite face palettes within my collection. I love my Smashbox Cali Contour face palette. Of course, I love my BH Cosmetics ones as well. And so I feel like those also tend to get neglected, and I really, really don't want to do that. And so overall, I just want to use them more. I want to make sure that they're being loved and that they're being used within my collection. And another thing, which I feel like I'm already kind of failing on, but I want to use my lip liners more. I feel like I purchased quite a few lip liners last year in 2021, and I really haven't used lip liner very, very often, if I'm being honest, especially with wearing a mask. I'm hardly even wearing lip products, and so that's definitely something that I've noticed, a significant shift. And obviously, I'm sure most of us have experienced that same thing. And so lip liner is just a step that I never really go into, and I feel like because of that, obviously lip liners tend to get neglected within my collection. I also really want to just kind of push myself to maybe do more of like lip combinations, layering my lip products. I feel like sometimes I just always want to go in with just like one thing. And that's definitely just kind of been like a personal preference as of late. I feel like I am not super into lip gloss anymore, so just going in with like a lipstick or a liquid lipstick has just been kind of what I'm wanting to go into. And so going in with like a lip liner, a lipstick, and a gloss hasn't just been something that I've been recently into, but I want to maybe start getting into that because, like I said, I feel like my lip liners are really getting neglected, and I purchased them, so I need to use them. And then this is actually a rule that I do have for myself, and this is to avoid buying lip products that I would not wear underneath a mask. And this is obviously just temporarily because of the fact that we are still wearing masks here in Texas, here in San Antonio. They're obviously not required, but I still wear a mask. A lot of people still wear masks anytime they're in public, and at work, wearing masks is a thing. And so I just feel like I am so sick and tired of my lip products going neglected, and I feel like they're already being wasted within my collection because of the current situation, which was to be unexpected, right? Like nobody knew that this was going to be happening come 2019, 2018, which I probably have lip products from going back that far. And so looking back, it's not anybody's fault, you know, but I definitely have purchased lip products since the pandemic, obviously, and I need to stop doing that. Lip products that I'm really into currently are like lip balms, tinted lip balms, any type of like glossy lip balm. So like the L'Oreal, like the new L'Oreal ones, I've really been enjoying. And like honestly, a lip product that I'm thinking about purchasing is like the new Makeup by Mario, like what are they, like the glowy lipsticks or something, because that I would wear underneath a mask because it's hydrating, it's moisturizing. I know that whenever I take off my mask and I'm in front of people, I'm not going to be like insecure or like confident, or excuse me, self-conscious about the way my lip product looks, if that makes sense. So I want something that's moisturizing for one, because wearing a mask, it definitely can dry out your skin. But then also I want something that is going to give me just a little bit of color so that when I take it off, I may look a little bit more put together. And also just because I'm a makeup lover, like I still wear lip products underneath the mask, not always, but I still do. And I just feel like because of that, I want to still allow myself to purchase new things and still allow myself to treat myself every once in a while, but I need to be very like picky and selective of which products I'm bringing in, if that makes sense. Another thing is like I want to use my singles more. So I don't really have single shadows as far as like single shadows that are like in a Z palette or like a magnetic palette or anything like that, but I have a lot of like ColourPop Super Shock shadows. I have just like singles from Maybelline that I really love. I have a lot of like cream shadows. So I have some from Revlon. I have some from Maybelline. I have one from Tom Ford. Like just those types of singles I want to use more. I also have like the little stacks from Kaja that I want to use more. And all of those things are perfect for like one and done looks. They're perfect for just something really, really quick and easy, but it looks like you're, you know, more put together and things like that. And so I want to use those more. And I think just overall, you know, maybe on days when I'm feeling like more tired or maybe just not as inspired, I think that would be great, a great way to incorporate using those single shadows. And then I just have some like things that I'm keeping in mind this year that I wasn't sure if I wanted to announce on my channel because I don't want to disappoint anybody, especially, you know, my subscribers. You guys mean a lot to me, obviously. But there's just like a few things that I want to start doing this year. So I definitely want to start keeping track of all of the palettes that I'm using. So if I remember correctly, and I worked on this yesterday, I think it was, if I remember correctly, I've used 14 different eyeshadow palettes so far this year. And so I want to keep in mind which eyeshadow palettes I'm gravitating towards. Oh, I just thought of another one. Let me write that down. So yeah, I want to be very mindful of which palettes I'm gravitating towards, because if I have a palette that I haven't even touched this year and looking back, I don't remember using it in 2021, then I really should declutter it. I have such a hard time decluttering my eyeshadow palettes, especially the ones that I have currently in my collection. I've decluttered quite a few to like my aunt and also to my cousin, my sister, things like that. But the ones that I have are the ones that I obviously really, really love if I haven't decluttered them. And so these are the ones that I'm gonna have a hard time parting with because of the fact that I haven't even decluttered them as of yet. So I really want to try to do that. I just have like this small notebook and I'm just writing down the palette that I use. So I'm not going to do tally marks or anything. If I've used it more than once, that's great. But the goal is for the palette to make the list. Like that's the thing. So if I remember correctly, I probably have like 80 something eyeshadow palettes. I haven't counted them in a while, but my goal is to have as many of those eyeshadow palettes on this list. So I only want the palette to make it once on the list. If I use it more than once, that's great. Like for instance, the Natasha Denona Retro palette is on this list. I know that I've used that more than once, but I'm not tallying it because then that starts to become a chore for me, if that makes sense. So I just want to really just mark if I've used it and that's it. That's all I care about, is if I've used the palette Is it on this list? If so, come the end of 2022, I can look at this list and then I can say, oh, hey, I used this one this year. I know that I really like it. I remember I used it more than once, so definitely want to keep it around. But if it's not on this list, I really need to consider decluttering it. And so anyways, that is something that I really want to start doing. I'm hoping I remember. I hate doing stuff like this because I often forget, or if my notebook and like the pen isn't around me, like I'm not going to quit doing my makeup to go do it. You know what I mean? So that's the only frustrating thing, but hopefully I can really like discipline myself to get this done. And then this is something kind of like, it's a private goal. I'm still gonna share it with you guys, but please, 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 like just know that this is gonna be a very, very difficult goal for me, but I'm gonna try my best. And my goal is to only purchase between 10 to 12 palettes this year in total. So if I'm looking at it, you know, at 12 palettes, that's about 1 palette per month. I will say there's not a lot of eyeshadow palettes that are really calling my attention right now. I'm sure that that'll change within the next month or so. I feel like once spring officially hits, like once it's like March and April, I feel like so many new releases come out makeup wise. And so maybe by then I'll really, you know, have some eyeshadow palettes that I'm interested in. But right now, I've only purchased 1 palette this year, and it's the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's stunning, and I'm really happy with the purchase. And so that's the only eyeshadow palette that I've purchased so far this year. I really, really, really want to try to be strong and like make sure that I keep to that goal. If you want to do this with me, please let me know. I am just someone who, this shirt is really, really bothering me. So I'm so sorry if I'm annoying you. I am someone who really purchases like a lot of eyeshadow palettes. Like I want to say in 2020, I purchased like 40 eyeshadow palettes because I actually I did a video on all of the palettes I purchased in 2020. So that is on my channel. But then in 2021, I was thinking about doing a video, but I never got around to doing it. But I literally was just like, I had just like a rough draft open of like on the notes on my phone going over like which palettes that I've purchased, and it was already pushing 50 and 60 palettes. That is ridiculous to purchase that many eyeshadow palettes in 1 year. Like that is a lot. And I'm obviously a very, very, very small YouTube channel. And so I don't receive PR or anything like that. So I need to start establishing these habits now, because hopefully one day I get to the point where I have a larger YouTube channel where I'm able to actually start receiving PR, etc. And so I don't want to get to the point where like my overall consumption is really getting in the way of me actually using my stuff and things like that. So those are pretty much everything that I wanted to go ahead and talk about. I just wanted to kind of share those thoughts with you guys, share those ideas that I was having about my eyeshadow palette collection with you guys. If you have any makeup goals for yourself this year for 2022, please leave them in the comments. I would really love to hear what your goals are for yourself. I feel like it's very interesting and motivating to see and hear about what you guys do, because obviously you guys are probably makeup lovers just like me. But I hope that you're taking care. I hope that you've had a wonderful year so far. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments, and thank you guys as always for watching and for all of your support. If you did enjoy this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Also, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my YouTube channel family here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll go ahead and see you in my next video. Bye!